Welcome to the podcast. So, today I wanted to talk a little bit about giving yourself permission to put yourself first. And by that, I mean like making your health a priority. A lot of people that I've been talking to recently have been like burnt out and exhausted from the hustle, the work, all of the things that they're doing. And they're feeling very much like they're just overwhelmed and their health is suffering and their performance is suffering. And I know from personal experience, when I don't make sure to do all the little things that support my health, that's usually when my performance suffers. And I don't just mean like from a physical standpoint of like working out or training or things like that, but like in your job, in your daily life, in your ability to show up and perform your responsibilities and those types of things. So, like, finding a way to do all of the little health promoting activities that make me feel better on a day to day basis actually helps me function better in life. I'm happier. My emotions are more stable. My energy is more stable. I'm just more alive. And, too often we get wrapped up in this like hustle culture, this need to get things done and be productive and show up in a certain way. And we forget about our health. I'm very much one of those people who, like, when I get working on a project, I get overwhelmed and it consumes me, and I will like focus for like days on end. And then when I come out of it, I'm like, the laundry hasn't been done. There's a pile of dishes. I'm exhausted. I feel disgusting. I haven't worked out in days. I've been eating like shit. All of these things compounding on top of each other to make it so that, you know, this project that I've been working on has just drained all of my energy. And I work with a lot of people who have busy jobs, and I also interact with a lot of coaches who work at this high level where we are constantly pushing ourselves, and if we're not taking care of ourselves, then everything suffers, and we may not even realize it. Like, you may not even realize how much things are suffering until you come out the other side and you look back and you're like, I haven't been taking care of myself, and now I'm burnt out and I have to dig myself out of this hole. So, what if instead of perpetuating this habit, perpetuating this, system of working really hard and forgetting about taking care of our health, what if we actually put our health first? And we took the time that we needed to get in our movement, get in our exercise, get in our hydration, and we made that a priority. We would be able to energize our body in more ways. We'd have more energy because we were working out. We would have more energy because we were eating better. And then in the long run, we'd be able to perform at a higher level by doing less of the actual like work. I mean, I think a lot of times we get wrapped up in overthinking and in procrastination and in perfectionism and trying to live up to a certain caliber of like hustle culture. And we forget that it's really important to take care of our own bodies. And I know for a lot of people with families and responsibilities and like full time jobs, making time for yourself can be really challenging. And so I urge you, rather than look at your life and be like, oh, I can't, I don't have any space to do that. Try and find more ways that you can work with the life that you have, work with the circumstances that you have. I have one client who she's trying to add more movement into her day because she sits down a lot during the day. And so, even if it's just an alarm goes off every couple of hours and she stands up and takes a walk around the house, that adds just a little bit more movement. It's a little bit of a break, a little less looking at a screen. And no, it's not perfect, but it's helping her get that movement in. It's helping her get that little like energy boost that you get from moving your body. I think a lot of us forget that movement is medicine. I mean, I know for me personally, on the days where I work out, on the days where I move my body, I feel so much better. There's less stress, there's less overwhelm. Sure, it's all there. It's still all sitting in the back of my mind. But moving allows me to put it aside for a moment and allows me to say that this is my time. This is the time that we're going to spend focusing on our body because our body needs that. And, That's okay. I don't have to spend every second working, you know? Life is going to be there when I come back to it. I think a lot of times you're asking so much of yourself and you're not giving enough back. And if you're not making time for the healthy meals and the movement and all of the things like sleep and hydration and recovery and mobility, and the list continues, then you're not giving yourself the chance to perform at your highest level. So if you are looking to be promoted at work, or you want to, produce better results in your job, putting your health first will actually help you do that, because you will have the energy and because you will have the ability to focus for a longer period of time. I mean, how often do you have a full 8-hour work period that you're actually focused during? Not that often, right? There's all these little bits and pieces of things that are distracting you throughout the day. But what if you used the mindfulness that you use when you're in training or when you're moving your body, and you brought that into your daily life and you're like functioning at your job, you know, instead of getting distracted by all the emails or text messages or things coming in, you're able to focus more efficiently for those 90 minutes and then take a break and then recover from that. So I've been trying to focus on me a lot more recently, and like making sure that I put these things first, because I know for me and my clients, it's best if I show up with energy, and it's best if I show up with high vibes and I'm not exhausted all the time and I don't feel depleted. So making sure that I put my health first, and that I take care of my body and I take care of my mind and I take care of my energy levels, that's really important to me, because I want to show up as the best possible coach that I can. And I'm not perfect at this, and it's a struggle sometimes. You don't want to get up all the time and do the workouts, and you don't want to have to go for a walk in the middle of the day. Like, that's distraction. But I'm realizing that the more that I do the movement, I mean, I know this and I've known this for years, but like, it's the thing that helps clear my mind. It's the thing that helps me refocus when I need to. I have a lot of coaches that I talk to who are going through this stressful period of like showing up every day and feeling like they're not getting the results that they want, because things take time. In the same way that, like, if you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to gain muscle, it takes time. Even if you show up every day, you might not see results for months. You might not even see the results you're looking for years. But having the ability to say, hey, this matters. I'm going to keep doing this thing because I know eventually I'll get there. And eventually it's going to help me in the long run. For example, going for a long run, it's exhausting, right? It makes you feel like you are depleted for the rest of the day. You probably need a nap. And the next day, you might even be more tired. But if you zoom out, the more that you run or the more that you train, the more you're going to build up your ability to do that, so that then you can push yourself a little bit harder every time. But it also means that that movement is going to be more energizing the more that you do it. So if you're feeling stuck and static and burnt out, starting with movement is going to feel hard at first because your body's not used to it. But eventually, your body's going to crave that movement and you're going to want to do it. And you're going to feel like this is actually benefiting me, and you'll feel better after you do it. Now, it's not going to happen all at once. And, it's a long process, but I know from years of ups and downs of working out and then not working out and working out and then not working out, I'm always better off when I'm more frequently working out. So take it or leave it. And the same goes for healthy eating. I feel better when I eat healthier foods that are more nutrient dense, that are actually providing some kind of nutritional value for me. If I sit down and I have a big pasta dinner and it doesn't have protein and it doesn't have like vitamins and minerals and those types of things, and it's just straight up pasta, nothing against eating carbs, but my body's going to have more cravings later, and I'm going to want something more later rather quickly, because I don't have that satiating protein, or I don't have those nutritional components that are providing me with vitamins and minerals. Same with alcohol. Alcohol is so depleting. And, you might think, sure, I can drink every now and then, but sometimes you can't. And that's okay. Learning to adapt to that, learning to figure out what it is that your body is craving is kind of really the whole journey, the whole process. Anyways, so this is just a very short episode talking about why I think it's important for you to put your health first. We have all these responsibilities that we're juggling, and we have work and family and things. And if you're not taking the time to put yourself first, then you're actually missing out. You could be performing at such a higher level if you actually took the time to prioritize your health. And prioritizing your health is going to look different for everybody. It could be that you get up and you go walk around the block, or it could be that you get up and you sit and have your coffee for an hour and have a breakfast, and then maybe you read a book, and maybe you go for a walk in the afternoon or something like that. But find out where your energy ebbs and flows throughout the day, and then find ways to enhance that. I have one client who is working on increasing their movement, and they're doing just, little bits of more movement throughout the day, but they do really realize that the more they do it, the better their body feels and the better their heart results are. They struggle with being an AFib all the time, so their heart is out of the normal pattern of beating. And the more that they work out, even just by like 1 or 2%, they're better off. So there is truth to movement is medicine. It can heal you. It can help your body. And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but like, how do I get it in? How do I find the time? Don't look at workouts as having to be this like hour-long thing where you do 5 exercises and you do 3 sets of each and you do all this thing. It has to be perfect and all of this stuff. Like, just find ways to move more. Take the stairs, walk a little farther from the grocery store, little things. It doesn't have to be so hard. And I think too often we overthink things and we make it into this more complicated thing than it needs to be. And it really doesn't have to be that complicated. And this is coming from someone who struggles with this constantly. Like, I'm an athlete and I still have challenges with getting in my workouts. And I still have days where I'm like, I don't want to do this. But I think about the result that I want. My desire for that result is greater than my desire to stay in bed or my desire to not work out. I actually constantly like to think back on how much better will I feel if I do this workout. And that's a motivator for me. That helps push me to do the thing. And I wish I had an answer that was like more, concrete. You could go off and do it and make it easier, but only you can figure out the ways in which you're going to be able to add more movement or focus on your healthy habits. And that looks like reevaluating your life, reevaluating what your priority is. Stop trying to do so many things and focus on what are the things that actually need to be done today or tomorrow, have deadlines. But always put yourself first, because if you're not at the level that you need to be energy-wise, how are you going to be able to show up in the rest of your life? And when you do encounter a crisis, if you're not already feeling good and strong and energized in your body, you're going to be hit that much harder. I was listening to a podcast about imposter syndrome earlier today and thinking about how am I showing up in my business and on this podcast, YouTube channel, whatever. A lot of people think, oh, you've got all these channels and you're producing all this content and what you're talking about. And, I still struggle. I still have moments of not having any clue what I'm doing. Even in my own health and fitness journey, I still have moments where I doubt myself, where I'm mini quit on workouts and I don't push myself as hard as I want to. Or even looking at my performance levels and telling myself that I'm actually doing more than I really am. Sometimes it's important to look at what you're actually doing and be really honest. Are you showing up and doing the work? Are you showing up and prioritizing drinking water and getting in your sleep, taking time to make sure that your mental health is in a good place? Moving your body a little bit more every day. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're lying to yourself and you might not be seeing results because you're not actually showing up as much as you think you are. So, that's also why I have all my clients track their movement and their eating and various different habits that they're trying to put into place, because so often we're not honest with ourselves. I mean, how often do you go to work and you don't have that focus during your job? What are the things that are distracting you throughout your day? And are you really performing at the level that you want to be? You know, you may not have been promoted because you weren't working as hard as you thought you were. Look back at how much screen time you have or how much time you spend in certain apps. Your phone can tell you those things now. And like, it can be really humbling to be like, oh, well, obviously, I'm not performing at the level I want to be at because I'm spending so much time watching TV or, being on the social medias. So just be honest with yourself, but also ask for support. I think a lot of times we have these big aspirational goals and, we don't include our family members in it because we're embarrassed or we're shy or like we don't want to talk about it with them. But like so often, they just want you to ask. All you have to do is communicate. I mean, they could say no. They could be like, I don't have time to support you in this, and like, that's too much work for me. But they could also be like, sure, I'll get dinner on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and you can get dinner on the other 2 days, and like, then we'll figure it out on the weekends. They may find a way to be like, I can actually help you with this. So find a way to recruit your family members or your friends or even coworkers to help you push through those challenging moments where you're like, I don't want to do this, but I need support. So who can I turn to? I mean, obviously, I'm going to say hire a coach, but like, I know that's not reasonable for everybody. So, and let go of perfection. Like, this episode is probably pretty shit, but I'm tired and it's been a day, it's been a week, and I know I'm not going to get a perfect episode out that's got like a hook and like, 3 tangible takeaways for you to go and input into your life. Like, no, this is me tired on a Monday trying to get it out at some point this week because I didn't do it last week and I'm still trying to show up and do the thing. Like, I'm still trying to be here to provide some kind of value for y'all. But I'm tired. I did a workout today and I ate all those things. You're going to have off days. You're going to have days where your energy is just not there. But you still have to keep showing up. Show up when you're tired. Show up when you feel like you have nothing to share, nothing to talk about. A lot of times clients might come in feeling like they're just so wiped out. They don't know what to focus on. They don't know what they want to talk about. But it's my job to sort of like evoke the things that they should be happy about and celebrate their strengths, or maybe even, focus on some of their struggles and figure out how can we navigate these situations a little bit better. Having someone to talk things out with, whether it's a friend or a coach or a confidant of some kind, can often really help you see things in a new perspective, in a new light. And that's why being honest with yourself can be really beneficial, but sharing that journey with someone else can help you see things differently so that maybe you can understand why you might be behaving in a certain way and how you can squeeze a little bit more movement into your daily life, even though you're hella busy. Like, do it tired. Obviously take time for recovery and that kind of thing. But I think there's a lot to be said about learning how to slow down and prioritize your sleep, prioritize taking time for yourself in order to be better in the other areas of your life. I'm not great at it by any means, but I've been doing it for years. And I know that when I do it well, I perform better. So, anyways, thanks for listening. Hopefully, some of that was useful. And if you enjoyed it, liked it, subscribe, leave a comment, a rating, review. And I will catch you next time. Ciao.